The police attitude to warehouse parties changed as press interest in them escalated. 4 weeks ago, Colston Hayter's party in Greenwich attracted 3,000 young people. It also attracted hundreds of police.
Well, I think they're quite serious about what they're doing.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be serious. How can you do that? Well, we're all enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, so why aren't you letting it go on?
Because we're enjoying the music. It's all about the music.
It's all about the music.
The whole scene. And the
And
only reason that you're sitting here now, the honest truth is the only reason you're sitting here now is because of the Sun that have literally developed their own story.
I'm sure you know nothing about the rock business. I mean, I don't know much about police law, but the fact of the matter is there are very lights, sound crews, lasers, spotlights, heaters, people to take cloaks, people's coats in a cloakroom. There is free refreshment, there's security, there's fire exits.
We don't want to discuss the whole matter with you.
No, of course
We've
not.
told you our point of view.
Excuse me.
And that's the reason why we're acting, as I've said. And one would hope, as reasonable people, as we are trying to be reasonable with you,
We are as well.
And that's exactly what we're just...
I mean, okay,
together we can come to a
Yeah, we
resolution.
can. That's why we're waiting for this phone to ring.
We have tried to, we've given a little bit on our part,
Yeah, exactly. We
so
really
that you have a
appreciate that.
chance to do what you said that you were going to
Yeah,
do.
that's exactly what we're
Yeah,
doing.
but I mean, this
To assist us
we
to
shouldn't-
move these
yeah.
people from
We're
these
waiting for the phone to
premises
ring.
Okay.
to a safer area.
Warehouse parties are now regularly being raided by the police. This party in Kingsbury, North London, was put on by a different organiser. A hostile reaction to the arrival of the police was quickly controlled by the disc jockeys.
It's only going to make it worse if we continue to throw cans and make ourselves look very, very stupid, alright? Leave it out!
Tonight's biggest acid house party is to be at a disused warehouse in West London. The venue has been kept secret, but already there are problems for the person in charge of security.
There's some friends of mine who are running it, and they've discovered their phones been being tapped all day, which to me is an outrageous waste of, I don't know, police time, home office money, whatever.
What evidence have they got for the phones being tapped?
Well, it's quite funny actually. My friend Jeremy picked up the phone, and there was recordings of his voice actually speaking to you from the morning, coming out of the phone.
But it was an earlier party in the peaceful setting of Sevenoaks in Kent which led to the most controversial policing so far. A raid on an acid house party ended in violence and led to over 20 formal complaints against the police. This meeting is being held at the home of Lady Juliet Simpson, whose son was at the party.
I can't help but believe these young people. I do think we've got the best police force in the world, and I'm very proud of British police. But there's been too many stories like this, and I think it'd be tragic if the police went down the route of control by violence.
The party was in a derelict house in a business area of Sevenoaks. At midnight, about 60 policemen arrived. A group of them burst in to search for drugs. It was alleged that none of the group were in police uniform.
And the first thing I saw, what appeared to be was a bunch of hooligans coming charging through the door with big black sticks flailing in the air, shouting, "Get on the effing floor, you lowlifes."
The people that didn't get on the floor immediately were just beaten on the floor, beaten to the floor. It was incredibly mindless violence.
With me, they were physically hitting me, although not with clenched fists. They were pushing me in the face, hitting me around the ribs, and generally it seemed to me to be they were trying to provoke me.
They were beating me as they took me out. They weren't just roughly handling me. And any policeman that I passed on the way were taking a good sort of potluck punch at me as well.
They were manic in there, and it just terrified me and everybody who was there. I was really frightened.
6 people were charged with public order offences. Because of these charges, the Kent police declined to appear in the programme. They said that 3 policemen had been injured and denied that any police officer had used unnecessary violence. So far, nobody has been charged with drugs offences.
Don't you think it's important that if the police fear that offences, whatever offences are being committed, that they should go in and attempt to do something about the problem?
I don't think there was a situation to fear. The inspector from Sevenoaks has made this point in our local paper, that his young officers had to face a terrifying situation. Well, my response to that would be, there's nothing terrifying about going in somewhere and seeing people dancing and girls sipping wine.
The police knew there was going to be a party, and they could have stopped it getting going by patrolling the grounds in the early evening, so the music wouldn't have been set up. Then there wouldn't have been a party. Instead, someone must have made the decision to let the party get going and then break it up.
Some people involved in acid house music accuse the police generally of overreacting to the press stories.
I don't think police overreact. I think we are faced with a situation that parents and social organisations read this publicity and say, well, what are police doing about it? There may be other considerations completely unconnected with drugs. I mean, one has to consider the possible fire hazards, the fact that people have got permission in the first place to be there. There are many, many other considerations that police have, as well as the drug situation.
As another Saturday night falls upon us, in addition to the warehouses I've already mentioned, West Side people, yeah? Meet at Catford Station. An essential, get there early. As we all know, the police are going to break it dead early.
We've got 20 buses going from all over London. People have actually hired their buses to come here, right, to the Do. They'll come here, then the buses will go to the Do, because it's very secret, as you can understand. But the thing is, once we're in there, the police can't stop it, right, because there's too many of us. And people are enjoying themselves.
How many people do you think will end up there?
Tonight about 4,000. They're coming from Brighton, they're coming from Manchester, they're coming from Luton, Portsmouth, all over the place.
Only a mile away from the warehouse, the bus is intercepted by the police.
The party's been closed down, finished. We know about it, it's all finished. We've taken it all down, completely over. Okay, all we're trying to do now is get the people away from the area. Right. That's what the intention is, so now we're going to try and get the bus out. Full stop.
Why is the party finished?
Because my inspector has said it's going to be finished.
If everyone stands here right now, you're all going to go and get nicked. All right, if you fancy that, stand here and go and get nicked and go corpse mode if you want to. Or if you
Dozens of police are already at the warehouse, stopping people from getting to the party.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of the police here are very understanding. I don't think they really want to be here. I think they've got better things to be doing, you know. And it's just a terrible show. There's 3,000 disappointed people all going off home. Well, this is really what's been happening every weekend. It's getting more and more depressing.
The police told us that nobody had complained and there was no evidence of drugs. The same night they stopped 5 other parties in London. The organisers say that in 2 weeks' time they'll put on another secret warehouse party and the game will begin again.